Hi, my name is David P. Shapiro. I am a San Diego criminal defense lawyer. I'm also the owner and managing partner of the law office of David P. Shapiro, located in San Diego, California, where my firm helps good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. And in this video, I want to talk to you about two key changes in California starting in January 2021. They both relate to sex offender registration. The first is the three-tiered system that California is moving towards in January of 2021, and the second is SB 145. California, for the longest time, if you had to register as a sex offender, mandatory registration for certain offenses, it was for life. So you get convicted of charge A, no matter what the circumstances are, if charge A is one of those on that list, you have to register for the rest of your life. California is moving towards this three-tiered system because they recognize that certain offenses obviously are more serious than others, and they also realize that there's certain benefits and less benefits of registering depending on the offense, depending on the offender. So what's happening starting in January is there are certain offenses, mostly misdemeanors and some low-end felonies, where after 10 years of registration, you could petition the court to basically terminate your registration requirement. That's level one. There's level two, which are 20 years. You have to register as a sex offender for 20 years before you're eligible to ask a court. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. You could ask a court to get terminated from that registry. And then there's level three, which basically are the ones that are not changing, and it's still life is life is life as far as registration. So those are the changes that we're going to see. That's been important in the couple of years since this came out, because as a defense attorney, that's a really good negotiating tool, knowing the law, knowing where that charge that you're negotiating your client's guilty plea to, if that's in his or her best interest, how that charge is going to affect their registration in, let's say, 2018 and 2019 and 2020, but also long-term, 2021 and beyond. So you see the value of hiring a criminal defense law firm that is on top of the law, that is looking 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of where you are right now, and is trying to protect your future and get you the best possible outcome today, tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year. The other key piece of legislation in California is SB 145. SB 145 makes sodomy and oral sex with a minor, as long as it's consensual, so non-forcible, with a minor 14 and over, makes that a discretionary registrable offense. Talked a little earlier in this video about how there are certain mandatory offenses that if you get convicted of that offense, you have to register as a sex offender for the rest of your life. Well, one was sodomy on a minor, one was oral sex with a minor. And, SB 145 is like, wait a minute, if you have traditional opposite sex sexual intercourse, a 19 and a 17-year-old or a 20 and a 16-year-old, still a crime. That doesn't get changed by SB 145. But why are those offenses discretionary registrable and some of the other ones are mandatory? It's not really fair to certain communities, same-sex communities in particular. So let's make sure that that is now a discretionary registrable offense. The penalty under law is still the same as far as what time you can get in jail, what time you get in prison, other collateral consequences, but SB 145 tried to make things at least more equitable under the law. There's a lot of criticism of it because of that 10-year age gap, that you could still have situations where you have a 14-year-old and a 23, almost a 24-year-old having sexual relations of some kind, and they wouldn't have to register, maybe not as a sex offender, but they still could if a judge or if a district attorney insisted on any plea bargain that it warranted under that type of situation. So SB 145 in California's three-tiered 290 registration system, all key laws that are coming into effect in January of 2021. If you have any questions about either of these two laws and how this may affect your case or the case of a loved one within the state of California, feel free to give my firm a call. We can be reached at 619-916-4265.